Welcome back to another show. Oh, let me start over.
Nailed it!
Nailed it. I was falling asleep over here.
Drink your Dunkin'.
Welcome back to another episode of the Rick and Danny Show. How you doing, Rick?
Living the dream, man. How are you?
Also living the dream. How you doing, Brenna?
Living the dream.
All right.
Living the dream.
A lot of football news lately. A lot of sad news in the NFL. We were gonna touch on a few topics that have come up in the medical community. Rick, you brought up a point earlier about a condition not only that can happen, or a injury that can not only happen in the NFL but in other contact sports. And what did you call that?
Comedo cordis.
There we go. And
so I think it's pretty much the every lay person in the world has Googled that Wikipedia page, and I'm sure it's the most visited Wikipedia page in the last week or so. I mean, I think the timing of the incident that happened on. So I guess we should recap kind of what it is for those of people who didn't see it. But basically, in a Monday Night Football game between the Bills and the Bengals, Bills safety DeMar Hamlin was tackling a receiver, got hit kind of in the center of his chest, fell down normally on a tackle, got up for about a second or two, then kind of collapsed. And the paramedics were on the field, did CPR. Sounds like may have had some AED, evaluation and shocked, taken to the hospital. And as of today, we're recording on the January 6th. He's been extubated and sounds like is neurologically intact, and apparently even FaceTimed his team and, was able to do that. So, it's obviously very scary to watch, and certainly, at least for me, I've been asked a lot of questions about it from friends and people who, want to know. So, I mean, I think we're obviously, this is all speculation, but, it sounds like it probably was this condition that happened, or really this, not condition, but this phenomenon that
from
happened.
An impact, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, initially everyone thought maybe this is something in it, is he something structurally wrong? Is this some congenital trait? Is this, something, but really it's actually something that is, we see in a lot of sports. Football actually probably was one of the least common ones for this to happen in, because they're wearing pads, so their impact is usually dispersed a little bit more. I think it's my understanding is it's more common in sports with like a ball, like a baseball, or lacrosse. It's more common in, but essentially,
I would think soccer too, but it might have something to do with the hardness of the soccer ball.
Yeah, I mean, to a hockey player or something.
Yeah,
like the 90s or.
I think the easiest way to think, and I think some martial arts sports, there's been some deaths, sadly, like some wrestling or kickboxing too. But basically, it's a sharp pointed impact to the chest, kind of at this perfect position in the heart that has to happen at the exact same time. Your heart's in this very brief window in the electrical cycle of the heart, and if it all times out perfectly, it basically throws off the electrical rhythm of your heart, and you end up in an uncontrollable, life-threatening rhythm, essentially ventricular fibrillation, which requires basically the heart needing to be reset before it gets back into a normal rhythm. So
and basically, I mean, what we learn in medical school and in our residency, you recognize a patient that had a cardiac arrest, you figure out what rhythm they're in, and for ventricular fibrillation, you need to grab an AED, which is automated defibrillator, and you're starting CPR and hooking the patient up, and really delivering a shock or multiple shocks is really what's going to try to save that person's life. Now, CPR is obviously a large component of it, and I think the Bills staff and the emergency response team there did an amazing job.
Did CPR on him for like 8 minutes, 9 minutes or something?
On the field, and I mean, I can't even imagine his friends, family, players just horrified by what they were seeing.
Awful.
And very scary, and I mean, statistically, a lot of people that suffer from this injury end up passing from it because they don't receive the appropriate care right away. And I think it was the speed, the delivery of the CPR, and probably their ability to deliver a electrical shock when they needed to, that has led to his recovery.
Yeah, I think I don't remember. I was reading about, I don't know how long ago, but 10, 15 years ago, there was one of these events at, I think it was hockey, maybe lacrosse,
Mm-hmm.
and there was no AED on site, so there was like a teenager that passed away.
Right.
And so then after that, there was a law that was signed in that basically, mandated AED devices in sort of these gyms or other places where, these sports are taking place. So that way, if you go to most gyms now,
Right.
you'll see it on the wall.
Right.
And I think that's, this is one of those types of injuries that the faster you can restore somebody's heart rhythm, the better the chance they have of recovery and
Right.
and not having any, hopefully, lifelong,
Yeah.
deficits.
And
It's just scary stuff because there's nothing inherently bad about the play or football or what
No.
was going on. It was just
Not
one of
at all.
those just
Perfect storm.
very unlucky
Right.
timing of everything for it to happen. As opposed to what we usually talk about with football, which is head trauma,
Right.
concussions, chronic traumatic, brain injury syndromes and things, which that is definitely more inherent in the sport itself.
Yeah, and there have been plenty of those injuries this year as well as previous years, I think. And initially, you almost see when the staff found Hamlin on the ground. Initially they're kind of accustomed to thinking it was a head injury or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I think everyone thought maybe spine injury.
Yeah, spine injury.
Or some sort of weird spinal cord issue.
The way he fell back was almost like when they're trying to I'm not messing around, but they get a good hit and they're kind of celebrating. Like he fell back weird. Like it wasn't like when Tua got hit and got up a
Right.
couple of times, like his legs just crumbled or
Correct.
they start
Yeah.
walking and they just like that. Like I was saying to Thomas, I was like watching those injuries was almost scarier than this because it looked like he just fell back and like everyone was like that's kind of weird. And then he
Yeah.
just but those head injuries. I mean, Tua, third diagnosed concussion or second?
I think it's third. Is my understanding.
That's crazy. How do you
Yeah.
even Hamlin? It's like,
Well,
do you play again? Do you ever play again? Is it worth it?
With Hamlin, I think I want to kind of say, based on my readings about this condition and how it happens, they've actually done studies where they looked at protective equipment, and I think it was primarily in like lacrosse, and I think they did some animal studies where they put some protection around whatever animal they were studying this condition, and looking at the impact with protective barrier. And it really made no difference. Mm-hmm. So I don't think they're going to find a protective barrier for any pro athlete that's going to protect them fully against this happening.
Yeah.
It's really, really bad luck when it happens because it has to happen at an exact time with an exact speed.
Milliseconds.
Like the speed of the impact has to be a certain velocity to actually even be a hard enough impact to throw the heart into that rhythm. Mm-hmm. I think they were talking it has to be usually about a 40 mile per hour or more impact to the left side of your chest. And so, if anyone's out there talking about, well, you need to revise protective equipment for something like this, you're not going to find something to do that. And I don't think that's where the money should be spent. But I think the money should be spent at making, not only in an NFL situation, obviously the spectators can't run onto the field and help someone out, but in a smaller environment at your high school games, at your middle school games, I think everyone should be aware of something like this can happen and be trained to say, either find someone that knows what they're doing to get CPR started or just recognize that you have these defibrillator devices available at all schools and should be at all gyms, and recognize that if you see someone down, someone needs to go get it, figure out what's going on, and help right away, because that's how you save a life. So, but for going back to the concussion, discussion here, I think there is research going on to see how to fix helmets to make impacts less, and
Yeah, I think a lot of the newer helmets already have some of that protection built in there. But I mean, I think
but
football is just a violent
it's not going
sport.
to be perfect,
Yeah, I mean,
right?
it's just
right.
there's no. I don't think there's any way to completely eliminate head injuries from the game. I mean, they've taken a lot of steps to try to minimize them.
Yeah,
I think the number one being, trying to change the culture around reporting it and admitting it and that sort of thing, which, as any of us who's played sports, you never, generally speaking, want to come out of the game or admit you're hurt and that sort of thing. So I think that's a big part of it.
I think the only way to realistically lower the concussions in quarterbacks is making a rule not to tackle the quarterback, which is not going to happen.
Which they already kind of have.
Yeah, they have kind of, but I don't know that they're actually going to go to that extreme. But but that would be the only, I think, way to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
lower the
just like anything
concussion
else
rate.
in life. People are taking a risk-benefit calculation, and especially for the guys in the NFL, at least they can say, we're making, for a lot of their cases, generational wealth that they can pass down to their family. In their minds, maybe that is a good risk-benefit
Right.
analysis. I think where it gets tougher and harder to figure out is the high school level, at the college
Right.
level. Someone's had multiple histories of concussions. What do you do? It's hard because you obviously don't want to take someone's individual rights to do what they want to do, but at
Right.
the same time, you want to try to protect people from, doing something that, hopefully won't cause lifelong, issues down the
It
road.
just feels like 3 in a season is. I mean, I'm not saying it's unprecedented, but it feels like a lot like that. Like I don't, maybe just because it's a quarterback, maybe because it's
I think it's just because it's talked about more.
talked about.
I
more
mean, back
now.
in the day, I'm sure guys were having like concussion. You hear like the old quarterbacks talk, like Troy Aikman and
Yeah.
stuff. They're talking
Yeah.
about they had like concussions every week, and they were
Yeah.
just playing through it. So it's just, I think we just know more now, and
Yeah.
it's known.
Yeah, I heard some whispers about the size of Tua versus the size of others, but I don't think that has anything to do with it. It's the way you get hit. The
There's
impact
so
to
many
the head.
factors. Exactly. There's so many
know.
factors to it, and he just had some bad luck with
Right.
how he's got hit.
Right.
But guys of all sizes get concussions.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I mean, Stafford, for example.
it's like-
I mean, he's a big guy.
Yeah,
he's,
and he's been knocked out of plenty of games, and
Yeah.
so it's just the way sometimes you take a hit, you fall. Some guys are better at falling than others. I think there are guys who run and can avoid injury with how they kind of play, versus
Right.
guys who kind of expose themselves to injury with how they play. But I think for the head trauma stuff, some of it just ends up being bad timing. You're in the pocket, you get hit from behind, your
Mhm.
head snaps back, So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, but
I mean, do you think he keeps playing, or do you think he?
I don't know. It's his, I mean, he wants to, obviously, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's too soon to say. They're holding him out this week. I know that.
Oh, there.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh.
So, if they don't make the playoffs, then that's a moot question because
Mm-hmm.
they'll be in the off season. So,
Yeah, there were talks on the podcast this morning, a couple sports podcasts about where would Miami look, for quarterback. Two of the names that came out would be, do they get Derek Carr, which is like, or Lamar Jackson.
how would they get?
That was a reach, but because, Lamar had his issues with his contract negotiation, and they were saying Lamar's from Florida, that
He
maybe
is,
he would
yeah,
want
he
to
is, yeah.
want to come
Yeah,
back
but I
down.
think if they take Lamar Jackson, they're going to lose Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
'Cause Lamar,
Or just picks. I don't know if they have any
Lamar's a-
picks to give up, but
no, I'm just saying from like he doesn't throw enough to have a star receiver like that.
yeah. They'd be a very fast team.
Speed, baby. Speed everywhere. I mean, that's what they built on the team is speed,
Yeah.
except
yeah.
the quarterback.
Meanwhile, in New England,
Yeah, tell us about what's going on in New England.
Yeah, tell us about
New
your
England
quarterback.
New England is a dumpster fire right now.
Oh, you know
Well,
what
they're gonna make the
what I
playoffs.
heard about New England, and the hot take that I heard was Garoppolo coming back to New England.
So I love Jimmy G.
Yeah.
I love him. I wish we never let him go, but he's so injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Yep.
I think this year it's like a foot, like he broke his foot. Like
But if you had the opportunity to get him, would you take him over Mac Jones?
Mac accused of cheating every week, Jones,
So
and trying to injure the other team, Jones.
so
Jacksonville native, by the way, Mac Jones.
I
Yeah.
know. So I have a love hate with Mac Jones, and not not because of the record, a little bit because of the record, but
Yeah.
the outbursts on the field are, and even so, he doesn't hide his emotions well, and like not that Tom Brady ever did. Vince Wilfork and Edelman both said something about it, and like I said to Thomas and my dad, I was like, those guys played with Tom Brady, who is arguably the biggest crybaby in the NFL, and is always like throwing tantrums, and for them to be calling Mac Jones out saying that he's worse than that and that he needs to stop, that's a pretty telling take, I
Yeah.
would say.
And
I
we
mean,
accept it from Brady because he won a little bit.
well, I think that was partially their point, but it was more so like anything bad that happens, he's like screaming at the sidelines, or he's like,
Sure. Yeah.
throwing these big tantrums. But I don't think Mac is the answer.
Because if I had asked most Patriots fans a year ago, I thought Mac was the answer.
Well, Mac had a great year last year.
Right.
I think they should have kept Zappy in, but
He seemed to be better than running the offense. That's for sure.
Zappy plays a lot like Tom Brady with his stillness in the pocket, and
He's got a better name. I mean,
he has a
Should put-
much better name.
him in.
Zappy Hour.
Actually,
Guys.
yes.
That's funny.
I mean,
But-
the bars must love him.
Yeah.
Come in for Zappy Hour.
Well, I think he's. But there's also rumors that Tommy comes back for his last season in
No
New
way.
England.
No.
That's the rumor.
way.
That's the rumor.
No, the rumors he's going to the Raiders.
Oh.
That's the rumor.
No, the rumor is he's coming back. The rumor is that his two landing places
Why would he want to go to
Are
New
either-
England
are either New
when he has an
England-
opportunity to go to like
are either New
great
England
offenses.
or
the
the
Niners?
49ers.
The Niners.
But I don't think he's going to go out to the West Coast.
Oh, come on.
Because his kids, he's always said that. I mean, who knows? He's a changed man now.
I mean,
He's
he's gonna
divorced.
go where he
He's
can
divorced.
he can win. I mean, the Patriots. His big gripe with them was he didn't get surrounded by good offensive players.
I mean, our O line has been absolute. I mean, they are the dumpster fire.
Yeah.
If he's going to go somewhere else, he's going to go somewhere where he can realistically win a Super Bowl. I think he should go to San Francisco, back to his hometown.
San Fran would be. I mean,
They're a great
he
team.
would win a Super Bowl if he went there.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Although he's looked a little.
Although
Last game-
looked
I'm
good.
not
Last
saying it would
game-
be easy to get by
Last game notwithstanding, he looked
Kansas
good last
City
game,
or
but
the Bills or something.
the Eagles. Come on, don't leave the Eagles short.
Yeah. When they if the Eagles make it to the Super Bowl this year, then I'll give you
Wow.
that.
Let's talk about the Browns.
No. All I'm saying,
Yeah.
you can't.
What was Watson's first game back?
If I celebrated the regular season, then the Cavs in LeBron's heyday would be
True. True.
the best team ever.
I'm just saying they're a good team.
Yeah. No, they are. Yeah. I don't know though. I mean, the
I didn't say they
49ers
weren't.
are a good team.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not.
They're just
No,
they're just down a quarterback or two.
So who do you guys, now that the season's almost over, it's week 18?
Oh yeah, what predictions did we make? Do you remember?
Oh yeah. Who do we make?
So I think I did Bills Niners.
I think that sounds what I did.
I think you did.
Or no, I probably did
You
Chiefs.
did-
I probably did Chiefs Niners.
No, I think you did Bills Packers.
Did I?
Oof.
I think so.
Oof.
I think you had the Packers. I need to
Packers
go back
actually,
and listen.
they're going to make the playoffs.
They need to
They're the
win.
hottest team in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut in our predictions right here
Yeah.
from earlier in the year.
Yeah,
Okay. I
Right
know what
here.
they
It's
are.
gonna go right here.
So Bills Niners, Bills Packers,
Chiefs Packers.
Chiefs Packers.
Okay. But now, what are your predictions? Now that we're here, week 18, who do you think?
Let's go with Chiefs Niners.
Okay. Who wins?
In that situation, I wouldn't bet against Patrick Mahomes in a one-game Super Bowl.
Okay.
Patty Mahomes
With a backup quarterback, yeah, for sure.
third string.
Third string.
Brock
Purdy.
Although he's been
He's been
Amazing.
He's been pretty. Were you gonna make the
Wow.
joke?
I was gonna make
Danny was gonna make
I
the
really
joke.
want to say it, but
I'm
that's all right.
sorry.
I just threw up in my mouth.
Do you want me to cut it out and you can do it?
No, you do it. You do it.
Sorry, you had the look in your eyes, but I jumped the gun.
So, no, I think everyone's saying, Niners, Eagles. I can't remember what I said. So,
I think you said.
did I say Bengals? Maybe. No. Did I say Chiefs?
We all said similar teams.
Chiefs, yeah. I still, you can't root against the Chiefs. I mean, Chiefs and I'm gonna say Chiefs Eagles.
Okay.
Chiefs Eagles.
Okay. I'm gonna say Bills. I'm gonna say Bills Vikings.
Oh God, the Vikings. Oh my.
No
I'm gonna say
way.
Bills,
No
Vikings.
They got blown out by who?
The Vikings are the. You want to talk
By
about
Packers,
you
right?
want- yeah, you
Packers
want-
blew them out.
You want to talk about a record that means nothing? That's the Vikings.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna go.
They have the worst plus minus of any.
When has
Go
Kirk
Bills, Vikings.
Cousins done
I like
anything
him.
in the playoffs?
I like him. He hasn't. When has Aaron Rodgers done anything in the playoffs?
He's won a Super Bowl.
Okay, since the Super Bowl.
Well, that's
Jokes.
one example.
Jokes.
You asked for one example. You
Give
won
me
a
two.
Super Bowl.
No.
Yeah,
I
he
think-
is a bit of a choke artist. But like you look at any quarterback in the NFC who's done anything in the playoff. I think Aaron Rodgers is probably and Tom Brady, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it. Those are the two quarterbacks.
Well, yeah.
Jalen
No,
Hurts, no.
What I
never
think
Dak
is.
Prescott, no.
We're talking about a choke artist.
Wait, we were talking about who you would trust?
No, yeah. I mean,
Who's done
there's
anything?
no NFC quarterback other than Brady and Rodgers that you would trust in the playoffs.
I wouldn't trust Brady in the playoffs.
Well, I'm just saying, like, out of who is going to be in the NFC playoffs this year.
Yeah, I would put Brady at the bottom of the list. He's looked awful all year.
Terrible.
But
Awful.
This is his worst year.
playoff experience.
Doesn't
right?
matter.
It's his worst year
He's
in
lost
his
it.
career.
If you've lost it, you've lost it. Rodgers also has looked like garbage most of the year, including even in that win against.
Yeah,
the,
I think
in the
even
win-
now his QB rating isn't
even in
that
the win
high,
against
right?
the Vikings, he wasn't
Yeah.
that great. It was
Yeah.
the defense and special teams.
Yeah.
No, I disagree. I think you got to go with who's playing well. So, Hurts before he got injured. Brock Purdy's been playing well. Cousins.
Well, that offense, right? Because like the Niners are just like the offense is just so good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got Christian McCaffrey, but that matters, right?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good coach.
Yeah, good coach. Yeah, but
I think the Patriots are going to beat the Bills on Sunday, and they're going to make it into the playoffs. They're going to go and win the Super Bowl.
Oh my god.
I will take any amount of action you want against that result.
It's going to happen.
How about we-
I think we should
Gamble
make
your new
a
house.
light bet on that.
No.
A light bet.
A light bet.
I prefer
$1.
I'd prefer a heavy bet because
I would not.
If I'm taking the
Ooh, we should have Brenna wear something from a different team if that's.
I can't do that.
So
I physically can't.
let's see.
My body will reject it.
No, she'll have to next episode. She'll have to sport a Miami Heat hat for the whole episode.
yeah, I'll wear Patriots gear if the Patriots win the Super Bowl.
Actually, Miami Heat hat and jersey both.
No, but then she has to buy a jersey.
No, yeah.
I can let her borrow a hat.
Okay, all right.
All right, fine. Deal.
Miami Heat hat.
Deal.
All right.
All right, sounds good. So I'm taking
It's
any
official.
scenario other than the Patriots win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Okay, just want to be clear into the microphone.
Okay. All right.
She's gonna delete this later.
No.
No.
I'm gonna remember.
She's gonna. This is how it's gonna go. She's gonna go. The bet was any outcome I want. Oh, okay, yeah, I won. Roll the tape.
No, I would never delete it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would, but I'm a woman of my word.
Well, you're sporting the best Boston team right now out of all of them.
The Bruins, I think.
The
are really
Bruins
good,
are,
right? Yeah.
This is my cool new city, whatever those jerseys that they do hat.
Mm.
So, gotta wear it to match our pennant.
We'll see if Tatum steps up in the playoffs this year.
This doesn't feel like a safe space anymore.
We're not on video anymore, but we have a Celtics little Flag
I
up
really
and
want a Celtics Cavs series so we can talk trash to one another.
Might happen.
Yeah. Donovan looks like the real deal.
Gonna have to start watching basketball again.
You better. You better. Yeah. And the Heat might play him too. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They're atrocious this year. I have NBA League Pass. I watch every single one of their games. It's painful.
You gonna go to that game?
I hope so.
Okay.
I
Let me
haven't
know.
I haven't bought tickets yet, but I have 2 buddies who in Orlando who want to go. So
Is that your
If you get tickets through the guy I use, you'll get them at a lower cost.
yeah,
Is that your third wheel game?
but it's only for the. Is it? Only
No,
the
you can
high-end
get them
ticket?
anywhere. You can get them anywhere.
Yeah, I think we would want to do that club thing or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Figure it out. And that's another episode of the Rick and Danny Show in the books.
Thanks for joining us.
See you guys next time.